Okay, my apologies there, just getting the screen all set up. So, very briefly, I spent on and off upgrading my, I've still got my Anaconda, which is looking really good, engineer modifications. I've just upgraded my Fer-de-Lance with with a few mods, grade 5. Well, we'll get into we'll land. Jesus. Pardon me. That'll be right. No outfitting situation. So I've upgraded the cannons on the Fer-de-Lance. I've got 4 cannons, medium, 3 incendiary special features. They're 5 out of 5 mod for rapid fire, and I have one that has acid corrosive background. Just trying to see if I can quickly pick up a mission. No, okay. I'm also running Dirty Drives 3, which is the most I can do at the moment. I've got a simple massacre mission here, only 16. Kill 16 mobs. I was trying to pick up a couple more. Got a funny feeling the war might be over. But let's just... And I can thrust her up to... I thought I could get up to about 480, but it looks like 460 is the... Well, that's what I get. You just quickly check the system map. Oh, I'm in an anarchy system. There you go. Alright.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Not sure what's at the checkpoint, but we're going to have a gander.
Scan detected.
Okay.
charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Now, if you're unaware, this is an anarchy system, which means you can kill anything in this system. If you attack, do certain things within the game, and throughout Elite, you get fines, become wanted for, if it's just an accidental shot or something like that. It expires after 8 minutes, and you're good as gold. 400 credit to a fine. If you start killing players or NPCs and rape, pillaging, all that stuff, you'll get a bounty, and the more you do, the worse it gets. I just hate how that speeds up for no fucking apparent reason. And you also can be attacked without any threats or because there is no law. It's anarchy. Back when I used to originally play this game Elite, half my life ago, Jesus Christ, used to go anarchy systems and just blow up police. I thought there was a bit more to it than this. System defense. An anaconda. 2 anacondas, yeah.
Frameshift drive charging.
The size of those ships stops me
4, 3,
jumping, so I have to get some distance.
1.
So technically, if I had a what do you call it, a indictor, I could pull this person out of hyperspeed within a certain, pull them out, and then you have like a little mini game, and you pull them out, and then I could blow them up and steal the stuff. At the moment, I'm in the system that's a hauler, and I'm here to kill haulers and military stuff because they drop stuff, not so much their cargo. It's that when the ships blow up, the engineering bits and pieces helps me mod my ship. Normally you'd come here in a standard system, you'd come here to, if you wanted to mine, or you come here to hunt other craft that were hunting miners and stuff. sort of doesn't make sense. It's sort of like, in some ways it does, but to the level of the poor miners who go out there, they get absolutely, let's say the attrition rate of mining, like, again, working in the mining industry, the death rate in the mining industry is not horrific, but back in the day, in some third world countries, nowadays it is quite, you know, and having had some long-term family members work in the mining industry for a very long time, some of them have picked up health issues and unfortunately lost their lives to legacy of bad bad health working in that environment. So basically, if we come into this system, just want to get around that rock. You'd come in this system normally and you'd protect the miners and there'd be a bevy of bad guys. But because we're in an anarchy system, we can pretty much kill and attack anything we want. So here's a big bag anaconda.
Scan detected.
We might just want to try something smaller for the moment. So I can just make sure my guns are firing. Ooh, elite. 2 elite.
Scan detected.
So they're all scanning me, looking. Bad cargo, they'd start attacking me.
Scan detected.
Jesus Christ. Here we go. Oh no, hang on. I'll get in trouble if I attack those guys because they're part of my faction or something bullshit.
Scan detected. Scan detected. Scan detected.
Okay, who are they attacking here? Oh! Ah, and we got a bad man.
Target destroyed. Scan detected.
Shields of Justice, doing the job. Fucking Shields of Justice, my ass.
Target destroyed. Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet drone. Collector limpet expired. Programming limpet drone. Collector limpet expired.
That's not so good. Alright, let's just get into it.
Cargo scoop retracted.
I was just using a limpet drone there. I thought I had a bit more than two.
Target shields online. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Under attack. Scan detected.
When in doubt, you just got to make sure they're real. Alright, so what we'll do,
Detected.
we'll go to these combat zones.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
That was a bit freaky. The only downside to this is ammo, but then again, I think I might have enough. I do indeed.
Weapons rearmed. Weapons rearmed. Weapons rearmed.
Oh, great. Most common things. I'm actually glad I went down on the planet, used the SRV, got around, dug up things, because I've got a ton of everything now. But that's all good. All good. Now, ideally, I'd probably like to have left some few things on the ships, but both these two don't have the facilities to outfit. Here we go. We've just been attacked, interdicted. So let's. Whoa. Makes life really interesting. It's been about 20 interdictions, and I haven't been pulled out one yet. Except for one I wanted to see. Who's pulling me over when I was fully armed? Am I? Just want to get the conflict zones. Yeah, and if far heavy conflict zones, I'm not aware, but in that res zone, that mining zone, if you have a what is it, scanner, you can scan the people and just see if they've got any bounties and things. And that's how you make even more money. But honestly, you just go to Quince and you like I made 500 million out of Quince. I haven't been there for about a couple of weeks now, and probably would have had more money, but not modded a ship. State Corp. Okay. Just gonna turbo on a little bit. Charge up my guns. Pick my faction. New Chameau. I love it. Now the big problem in these things, and we can get fucked up really fucking quick, is all the NPCs will attack you. They will attack you.
Under attack. Target destroyed.
Now you can see my incendiary rounds going to town.
Target shields offline. Under attack.
Keep myself in the blue line. God, he's pumping out the anti.
Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Take complete damage.
Just create a little bit of space. Oh, it's got a hard on for me.
Warning. Temperature critical.
Can't really miss at this.
Damage. Target shields online. Target shields offline. Warning. Taking heat damage.
Okay, I think the dirty drives are made her a bit hot.
Target shields online. Target destroyed.
Don't think I got the credit for that one.
Under attack. Target shields offline. Target shields online. Target shields offline.
Here his cannon's going off.
Under attack. Temperature critical. Target destroyed. Under attack. Target shields online. Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
I was a bit lucky with that one. Jesus, I got the boost.
Under attack. Target shields offline. Warning. Temperature critical. Heat sink deployed. Under attack.
Jesus Christ, am I the only one shooting this bastard? I think a turreted laser version might.
Target shields online. Target destroyed.
Now you also got a bully ships.
Under attack.
So,
Target shields.
so ships I'm bigger and clearly stronger than I should pick on.
Target destroyed. Accelerated shield regeneration.
Whoa. Aha.
Target shields offline. Warning, temperature critical. Warning, taking heat damage. Under attack.
And she might be a bit too hot with the dirty drives.
Target destroyed. Cannot comply. Target shields offline. Warning, temperature critical. Warning, taking heat damage. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Under attack. Target destroyed.
Yeah.
Target shields offline. Warning, temperature critical. Under attack. Warning, temperature critical. Warning, taking heat damage.
Oh Jesus, she's got hot. I like to see it with clean drive. I've got dirty drives on the engines, which gives a apparently big boost to everything, maneuverability and shit.
Target shields online. Under attack. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Target shields offline. Under attack.
Trying to run, boy.
Under attack. Target destroyed. Under attack. Target shields offline. Warning, temperature critical. Warning, taking heat damage. Target shields online. Heat sink deployed. Under attack. Target shields offline. Target shields online. Target shields offline. Under attack. Target destroyed. Incoming mission critical message.
Job done. Okay, pays about 700,000. We've picked up 500,000 in bounties. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to go to inventory. Actually, we don't need to. Fighting's done. Let's find our nearest base where we can reload. Jesus Christ.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
I was seeing some of the videos from Star Citizen 3 update, and they keep talking about redoing this and redoing that. And I'm thinking, just launch the fucking game. I can't believe people 3, 4, 5 years ago spent $300 to $400 on chips, digital things for the game. I think that game's had 100 to $150 million worth of crowdfunding or Kickstarter or whatever you call it, plus whatever else they've been able to get in. It looks fantastic. It's got PV. It's got everything. It's got humanity. You know, you can get in a ship and shoot and all that crap. Elite Dangerous to me looks like they're just focusing on getting the launch for the PlayStation 4, Xbox, everything else. I think they work on the PlayStation 4. I haven't even used something. I should have used fucking multi-crew then. Star Citizen looks fantastic, but the money that's been put into it's no wonder. Elite, I tell you what, if I was Elite, the first thing I do to the interface, it game's beautiful and the rest of it, but every time I go into a space station or an outpost or whatever it is, I don't want to throw microtransactions in people's faces, but skins and all these things, I make them, hey, you can have these skins, whatever. Personally, I'm against, you should be able to have basic colours of your ship, and, you know, black, red, green, whatever, you know, you should be able to have certain customization yourself. And then they should put some effort into putting like specialized skins, which there are a few. I can see all like crazy combinations and things like that that you can't come up in your own, but they should give you a basic utility of the color of your ship, all the rest of it. This paying transactions to put the name on your ship and everything, for fuck's sake, stop fucking around. Well, I want Elite to be successful. Start selling ships and stuff. Give us ships. They fucked the missions up. They should make it very hard to make money. Well, not hard, but you know it's money, and they should. You want to buy premium shit, you get bonuses, you get bonus XP, you get bonus things. You're sitting on a product that if you can do it as quarter or half as good as Water Tanks, as an example, you've got yourself a $200 million cash flow, whereas Water Tanks is making 500 million or something last year or year before. I don't agree with everything they do. This all goes back to a game that came out many years ago, MechWarrior 4. It was like there was the online. Everyone who played that game, I was not a MechWarrior person. I just played the game because it was a good PvP game, fight against other people. There was, you know, different weapons, clan, all that sort of stuff. People caught up with the board game and the assault mechs of, what is it, the Atlas was phenomenal. They'd run down the middle of the battle zone and wonder why a little sniping cougar or whatever it is, I'd do your CT and you blew up. And then you'd bitch at me for boating or something. Oh, hang on. But that game had the potential to be what World of Tanks is, but it was farmed out by Microsoft, and I kept screaming, they've got to make this an online game. All the communities online killing each other on servers, and effectively what World of Tanks became 10 years later, or 8 years later, whatever it is. Sales, business development, this is what I do for a living.
Landing gear deployed.
I've taken several ideas myself. Okay, I haven't made 300-400 million out of them, but I've done alright. But I got a disease like my father. We're very good savers.
Docking successful. Engines
No difference is he used to collect houses, unfortunately. No longer with us. Great man. Greco! Greco, you can't! Oh, let me tell you a story. When I've done a lot of travelling. I spent about 5.5 years travelling around Australia and overseas. So I've been around the world 2.5 times. I haven't seen every country because I learned very quickly that I could whip through every country in 5 minutes, but you don't really get to see it. You got to live it a little bit. Anyway, when I was in Canada, and there was these 3 Canadian girls that were friends of my uncle's family, and They were taking me to a baseball game or something, and I was pretending I didn't know anything about baseball, and they didn't know anything about baseball. Anyway, so the girls kept asking me, oh, there was two things because this is Canada. They're like, oh, what's Australian swear word? Because I know Australians got these swear words. And I said, and I knew the C word, the C bomb, is very in North America. This is going back about 10 years or more. Oh, oops, it's hardcore. You Americans don't like the C bomb, or using the C word, cunt. So they're asking me, oh, I said, look, all right, just say you walked into a nightclub or bar or something like that, or that, in that environment, and you'd see, oh, and you met someone, or there was something in your life that was like a just a painful, arrogant little cheeky cunt. So, and they go, and then all three girls looking at, he's a what? I said, you call somebody who was like a pain in the ass, I want to say other words like fuckwit and things like that. Pain in the ass, you call him a cheeky cunt. I said, stop being a cheeky cunt. And they're like, and their first reaction is they looked at each other and they said, wow, that's pretty disappointing. I said, what do you mean? I said, why would you fat shame and do that? I said, fat shame, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, cheeky cunt, why would you call someone a fat pussy? And I said, I've never thought of it like that, but cheeky as in being cheeky, not cheeky as in fat. I don't think I've ever heard to refer, hey, you're cheeky. You've got too many cheeks. I've never heard that. Cheeky in my country is being smart, a smart ass. So instead of calling that person a smart ass, call them a cheeky cunt. Smart ass is, it's all about the inflection in Australia. Hey, pardon me. So I met a lot of people travelling. They said, oh, I was in outback, your country, and there's these blokes swearing and counting each other. I thought a fight's going to happen. Just tell me what they said. Of course, how they said it sounded like they were having to go at each other. But the truth was, there's two blokes sitting in a bar going, hey, you fucking cunt. Give me your fucking beer, you prick. Fuck you. No, get fucked. It's all, oh, you cheek, fuck you. It's all, that's such down-to-earth Australian-ism. Uh, and so I had to explain to girls, it's nothing to do with a fat vagina or a fat pussy. Cheeky being smart, cunt being, it's a derogative. It's got nothing to, it's so far removed from woman's vagina. It's become its own word. Okay? He's a tough cunt. And that can be, depending how it's said, that messes with him. Why? He's a tough cunt. That mess. Oh, you think you're a tough cunt? These are the combos. So the girls were like, oh, but it was so like, oh, they were like very, very Christian, religious girls, brought up in the Roman Catholic. Because my aunt was, oh no, she was almost a nun. And then she met my uncle, who swept her off her feet. She was English, he was Australian. They immigrated to Canada, and that's how it works. Anyway, so the girls are like, oh yeah. So they're taking me around Toronto. We're going to Toronto, having a laugh, having a gig, and we get in Toronto, and pardon me. We get into Toronto, and it's pretty obvious the two older girls were very hungry or thirsty for male attention, but not just I want to have a shag or I want to have a root or and I'm about to get there. I want to have a root. They wanted a relationship. They want to get married, have babies. So the first thing they basically told me is they were like looking me in the eye. They were late 20s. Clock was ticking to 30. They were looking at me like, the drill was coming down. They heard my accent. They said, oh, your accent, your accent. I said, all you got to do, you could just let yourself completely go and your accent. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I've only known you for like 2 hours. All right. And they're like, let me know that they were ready to get married, have babies. And they kept like dropping their eyes and dropping their head and looking me straight in the eye. And I was like, yes, I understand. You're a female, 28 to 30s. I know exactly what you're thinking. Completely understand. And because I understand, they take that as I want to get married and have kids. And I said, well, yes, I do, but I'm traveling at the moment, and I may produce a few kids through this couple of years, but my life is in flux. I'm going this way. I don't want to, if it happens, it happens. Giddy up, but not at the moment. And I said, I just thought you girls were looking for a root. And the girls are going, a root? What are you talking about? And at this time, we turn around the corner, and there's the most famous sports brand in all of Canada, and it says Roots Canada. Now I start pissing myself laughing, and these three Canadian girls are looking at me like, "What's wrong with him? Is he on drugs? Has he gone fucking mad?" And I'm like, wiping the tears, I'm pissing myself laughing. We've had big drinking sessions the night before, and I'm just like, okay, you've got to understand, in Australia, you heard me just say it before, um, it's not something you go up to someone and you go, you meet a girl and you go, it's going really well. It is indeed. You fancy a root. you just don't, you just don't, uh, you just don't, you could say it, but there's a 180% chance you won't get laid out of using that term in Australia. Even in the most, I've worked in the most outback Australian parts, with the most ochre, hardcore women who aren't afraid to have them jump up and down on you. And if you don't have a little bit of wit and charm about you, and yeah, I love one fancy a root, it's the most common phrase out that way. You're not gonna get anywhere. So I said to the girls, well, roots or root or rooting in Australia means fuck, sex, to have sex. Oh, you rooted her, yes. Did you fucked her, yes. You're rooting. We become more Americanized, and it's something I hate because culturally we're very different from Americans and Canadians. Even though Canada and Australia are Commonwealth countries, we don't see each other outside of that, and most people mistake Canadians as Americans. But we're Commonwealth partners and buddies, whatever. So I'm telling these three Canadian girls, we're outside the Roots Canada store. So I said, look, that sign to me says Roots Canada, right? Okay. But to me, I could simply see that as fucks Canada. And they go, right? So they'd start all pissing themselves. And they said, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm not fucking bullshitting you. I said, this is fair dinkum. They're like, fair dinkum? I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I lost so much of my Aussie slangness because I was having conversations with people and people just stand there going, I don't know what you said. Are you Cockney? I said, no, you're trying to start an international incident. What do you mean? Well, it's like me calling you a Canadian. I'm from New York. I'm American. Exactly. I'm an Australian. Do you understand what you just did? Oh, my God. So I just called you like a Canadian. I said, yeah, you did. Right, middle finger. But so I said to the girl, so that's fucks Canada. So we've got to go in. So I'm taking photos with my camera, shots here, shots there, shots are fired. It's all happening. And, oh, let me just turn this in. New Shamo Independence. I love the name. I've got to make these people independent. So anyway,
Incoming message.
did they love me? Oh, thanks, guys. Um, yeah. So we go in the store, Reach Canada. This is in downtown Toronto, near the big Spike or whatever it is. So we're walking through the store, and I'm seeing, Roots Canada, Roots. I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell. And they started interviewing the store manager, and he goes, and as soon as he knew I was Australian, he goes, oh, fuck. And I went, yes, mate. Well, I said, fuck. I said, don't you mean roots? And he just went, oh, double fuck. And I went, exactly. And then he goes, so we left him, and I ran to the corner with the girls, and as we come around the corner, they thought I lost it before. I lost it even worse. I had tears coming out. It took me about 5 times to get my camera stable enough to take a picture of the sign. Because around the corner, it said Roots Children or Roots Kids or something. It's just Canada, Roots Kids. I had to take that photo. And I was just like, holy shit. Right? And they're just like, oh no, that's not right. Because they're very Christian. And they're like, oh my God, so that's like, oh my God, that's like pedophilia. I said, calm down. But it does, well, I could easily say, Canada fucks kids. I said, for fuck's sake. And then I cracked the whole joke and line about. I said, I tell you what, in the last Olympics, when you guys come to Australia, was it 2000 whatever it was? I said, when you guys come out onto the the nations come walking out into the stadium, every Australian, you guys are like Canada Roots and we're Roots Canada, and we were like, oh Canada, fuck Canada, yeah. And every Australian was giggling from age of 8 years old and up. We're just like, oh my God. So the older girl, I think she was about 31, and she was not desperate, but she was very determined to have babies and kids because her two younger sisters, mid-20s and younger, had all got married and pumped one or two kids out. So she was like, ready to jump. And I said to her, look, you're an attractive, intelligent woman. You, she goes, why aren't I married? And I said, well, I don't know you well enough, but you've got a hardcore job. You're a lawyer. You're full on. Maybe you scare off guys. I don't know. But let's just cut that crap. What you need to do, whip your credit card out or your debit card, whatever, all your money out, and I want you to buy two things. First, you're going to buy a ticket to Sydney, and two, you're going to dress yourself in full Roots Canada or I'm looking for a Root t-shirts from this store. All right, you're going to put it on yourself, okay? You're going to jump on a plane from Toronto, fly all the way to Sydney, and you're going to go to the nearest best bar you can find, or look for a mid-range bar or higher. I said, you're just going to walk in that bar, stand on the end of the bar, drink in one hand, sort of a hand with your chest open, so your jacket's open, so you see Roots all over you. And I said, if by the end of that evening no one's approached you and attempted some sort of bad joke about sex or rooting or something like that, and then in turn you haven't ended up having sex or getting a root, then you should then take all those clothes, burn them, and become a nun. Okay? Because if you can't close the deal then, there's something wrong with you. Okay? So they pissed themselves laughing, and of course she ran off and started buying shirts and stuff, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But the good end to this story is she ended up very shortly after that meeting an American. I think she ended up in Florida, and she had two or three children. And I think she had two, and then she's had another. She's just fallen pregnant again. So we're all starting to get old now. Getting up. But this is the story of studying in Ocker Aussie slang. And I tell you what, in my experience travelling, it's amazing what words will get me in. Simple words like shit, saying shit or something like that. In some of the travel groups or parties I was going through, some people, it was like I burnt a baby, and other people, they thought I was hilariously funny. And it's amazing as you travel. That's why I ended up getting sales and marketing, because I knew I had this natural affection with people, capability with people, but I learned very quickly, you could do and say these things. It's amazing when you get away with. And language. There's similarities, but there's a massive difference between Canadians and North America, Yanks, Australians, New Zealanders, English, Irish, Scottish, all the rest of it. The last story I will part on that when I was in Toronto, when I was going through North America, this is a few years before Steve Irwin passed away, unfortunately. I didn't know Steve Irwin was as popular as he was because I was out in the Australian outback. I'm your Rock Australia. I'm where Crocodile Dundee and everything was filmed. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, the bush, running around. They used to call me, God, I forget his name, but birds, bees, animals, playing up, growing with them, run around with them, snakes and spiders, you name it. And the short version of it all is I'm in a bar in Toronto. I'm sitting down. And I learned to do this very quickly throughout the Aussie accent. How you going, fair dinkum? Australia, get it up, yeah? And someone came in, oh, you're from Australia? I said, yes, I am. And this happened at least 30-ish plus times across my travels in that one trip across North America. And I to this day, actually it was 44. Memory was 44. And I'm so upset with not the fact that Steve Irwin passed and everything like that, but I never got the chance to buy him a pint of Guinness because I'll be in a bar or club through Canada or the United States. I'd put on my Australian, eating out fair dinkum, call blimey, can I get a beer? And someone would just turn, that accent, are you Australian? I said, yes, yeah. What gave it away? I said, call blimey. And then they go, right, we have a 5-second connection, and then they'd go, Steve Irwin. And at that time, I didn't know who the fuck he was. I was like, so what? And they go, Steve Irwin. I go, Steve Irwin. And they go, buy you beer. I go, okay, I'll pint of Guinness. And I said, fine. Pour a pint of Guinness. Takes you quite a bit to get through the Guinness. I get to meet people, blah, blah, blah. Go to another part, different part of Canada, different part of the United States. It's all good. And it's all good. And I end up in this bar, and it's on the Lake Ontario, whatever it is. It's this beautiful freshwater lake. It says, "Do not go. Put your head underwater. Do not come into the water with cuts and bruises." And I thought, that's pretty fucked up. That one of the world's biggest freshwater lakes, you can't go swimming in or whatever. So that's a bit fucking scary. But anyway, I'm sitting down there, and he talks to me. I think he was like, I don't know what combination he was. He was like, he was quite a combination, and he said he was in the Canadian Police Force. I said, "Oh, okay." And he goes, and he said, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, mate, look, I'll just make it really easy for you. From Brisbane, which is one of the third biggest city in Australia. You got Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." I said, "Mate, one of my colleagues, he's a detective. He's actually immigrated to Australia and he's become a detective in the Australian Police Force." I said, "Oh, yeah, congratulations." I said, and he goes, "Oh, he's gone to Sydney and everything." I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah." I says, "His name's Trevor Brown." I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, Trevor Brown, yeah, good on him." And he goes, "Oh, would you know him?" Sorry? He goes, would you know him? Where'd he go? He goes, "Oh, Sydney." I said, "Oh, and he's a detective in the police force." He goes, "Yeah." Well, I said, "Well, I live in Brisbane, which is about 1,000 kilometres north of Sydney, or 500, 700 miles, whatever that is in miles, of Sydney. And then again, if I did live in Sydney, there's about 4.5 to 5.5 million people in that area, if not closer to 6 million in surrounding areas. So the chances of me knowing your mate Trevor Brown, who happens to be a cop and who happens to be a detective, I no, I do not know who he is. Australia's a bit bigger than that, mate. He goes, "Yeah, I probably should have thought about that." I said, "Yeah, you're a cop." He goes, "Yeah, as a cop, I expected better from you, mate." And he goes, then he goes, you're definitely Australian, I can tell that." I said, "Yeah, well, thanks, mate." He goes, "By the way, Steve Irwin." I went, "Okay." He goes, "What are you drinking?" Guinness, right. 2 Guinnesses. I'm like, okay. So my thing is, when I was in Byron Bay when the news came through on Steve Irwin, and I was surrounded by all these Americans, and they just all lost it. They're screaming and crying. I thought, what the fuck has happened? And Steve Irwin had been stabbed by the ray and died. And a lot of Australians did think he was a bit of a dickhead, but he's a lovable dickhead, a lovable Australian, and mad bastard, and all the positives for him and what he's achieved, and his two beautiful kids are there, they're kicking ass as they get older. Um, I to this day regret never getting an opportunity to at least buying that bloke a beer. Even if he didn't drink alcohol, I would at least. But mate, shut up, have a glass of milk, fucking can of Coke, whatever it is you're buying. I'm buying for you, mate. I owe you, because through North America and Canada, I got spoil rotten, and I said I took advantage of it many a time. I didn't get laid by using your name. That would have been weird. I would have. Can you imagine that? Meet a girl. How you going? Yeah, yeah. Australian? Yeah. Steve Irwin? Yeah. Back at her place having sex. Do you like my didgeridoo? I'm sorry, I had to go there. 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 Anyway, going forward, I will talk about how where I came up with the name Koala Farmer, and it was born on these round the world trips that I did. I did 2 round the world trips that let me go around the world 2.5 times now. Um, Basically, effectively, the twice the easiest way I did is just bought around the world tickets. You know, they start as a couple of $2,000 and go as high as you can afford, seven, eight, 10, $15,000, and you got 1 year to do them, and you get X amount of stops, but it flies in one direction. So I think the first trip was, and I did it the wrong way. I went Brisbane, Singapore, London, New York, make my way to LA, um, Hawaii, back to Brisbane. And the next trip I was Brisbane, LA, Toronto, sorry, New York. Uh, but the thing is, you got a lot of freedom and flexibility. So I did a lot of traveling and everything in between. So and then New York to London, and then made my way to Rome, and then back to Gatwick, and then back to Australia and everything like that. And there's a couple of trips, and each trip, you get a year to do it in before the ticket expires. My last trip, second last stop was Auckland, and that was back to Brisbane, Auckland in New Zealand, and I had 2 weeks left on my round the world ticket. This was my second last trip, and I said I'm going to give Auckland and New Zealand 2 weeks, and then I'm back home. 8 months later, well, let's say that next 2 weeks in Auckland was the best of my entire 50 weeks travelling at that stage, well, 52 weeks by then. And they kept telling me Auckland sucked. So as an Australian, I could live and work in New Zealand without any dramas. I ended up spending 8 months in New Zealand. I did come back and forth a couple of times to Australia because it's so close. And I got into the backpacking industry, and I met the guys who got filthy rich off a particular chain of backpackers, and that is a whole nother story, which I'll go into later on. But around the world trips, buy your tickets. I tell you what, there are more young single women, 18, 19 years age that I met. I was in my late 20s and that I met. And I waited a year or two not to go because I was waiting on mates, and they were kept fucking around. I met so many young girls, young women, 19 years of age, 18 years of age, early 20s, who, some of them were fellas in college, they were 22, 23. The rest of them were just like, they're going out for adventure. And, you know, they meet, fall in love, get married, leave their country, whatever things would happen. They come back to their own country or immigrate to New Zealand, Australia, or wherever. Met this credible Dutch girl. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember her name. She was 19. She bought an $800 Mazda in New Zealand, and she'd driven all over the North and South Island in this car. Like, I don't know how many, it's tens of thousands, thousands of kilometres. And she goes, the car is a death trap. If I go over 80, everything starts wobbling, carrying on. So she goes, I just drive 80 and under, and it's fine. And I thought to myself, me at 19, this woman would have eaten me alive at 19. You know, I wouldn't even, you know, I would just still wiping my own ass at 19. You know, and here's like she's around the world and, you know, living life. So if you're looking to meet credible people, male or female, go travelling. You have the time of your life. I certainly did. Anyway, let's get into it. Got off a bit of a fucking tangent there, didn't I? Jesus. Well, I have so many travel stories, but we'll save that for another time. Oh, 28. Play both sides against each other. Why not? The problem with this, I can't bring my ship in. Let me just quickly see if there's any... Look, there's no planets here. What are they fighting for? What am I even doing in this system? Alright, so what we'll do is I'll give myself another test. I've gotta help these guys out. The new Shamo Independence. The name just sounds fantastic, and I've also taken a mission from these guys. 21 ships. 21 ships for 971,000. Kill the Shamo. 2.1 million. Killed 28. You cheap bastards. Alright.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
Let's just check if my guns have... No. That was not smart, was it?
Boarding permission granted. Landing gear deployed.
Sounds like my bloody V8.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Okay, well that is a bit of a prick. I can't reload. Oh shit. Bonus damages? Jesus. Got tons of everything else.
Weapons rearmed. Weapons rearmed. Weapons rearmed. Weapons rearmed. Weapons rearmed. Weapons rearmed.
Shit, I'm out of sulfur. Jeez, at one stage there I had about 150 sulfur, but I'll burn through dump some of it and burn through so much of it bloody doing upgrades.
Released. Engines engaged. Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Wow, I can... Shit. It's good to know I can do stuff. Just gonna There we are. They, in the industry I work in, they talk about that technology is going to take over. That you're going to have self-driving cars projected 2020, 25, totally by 2028 or something. This will be a big boom for the mining companies. You must understand a lot of the mining companies have I mentioned this in a previous video, telemucking units and things like that in underground environments for back in the 90s, late 90s or something, where they work within a certain distance in a cold air room instead of being in the vehicle. So if the vehicle fell over, people weren't getting killed or trapped inside the vehicle. The vehicles did take a lot more maintenance and damage because, well, but the way they drove those trucks, they were like incandescent tanks, and they had cameras pointing in different directions anyway to see. So it wasn't like you were in this big open space. Okay. Oh, it might be too good for me, this bloke. Battle Eagle. Huh? Oh, Fabian the Dangerous. I'll fight until I run out of ammunition, and then I'll jump out and I'll get my anaconda. Hang on. There's a planet there. So I'm naked. I don't have any of my gear that I have on my anaconda, because I'm like, hang on, there's a planet there. Why is that planet showing up?
Target destroyed.
Oh, that's one way to start.
Target shields offline. Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Taking heat damage.
Oh,
Under attack.
what's a nudge?
Target destroyed.
And we're going to look to bully targets. We're going to look for targets that are smaller than us.
Accelerated shield regeneration. Target shields offline. Warning. Taking heat damage.
Certainly runs hot, this one.
Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Taking heat damage. Warning. Taking heat damage. Target destroyed.
Oh, Corvette. Fuck that.
Under attack.
Pick your battles. An elite. Right, I've lost interest somewhere. Pardon me.
Target shields offline.
So this is what we want.
Under attack. Warning, temperature critical. Target shields online. Target destroyed.
The speed of this ship is it's very good.
Target shields offline. Under attack.
Got him.
Target destroyed.
Look at that. All that they're all attacking me. We just get in. Get our little sexy ass back out. Oh, and then we turn around and we fight. Okay, no, we probably don't.
Freight shield drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
That is the danger of a conflict zone. That you can suddenly be kicking ass, and it's happened to me plenty of times. They suggest not to do this on your own, but you can be kicking ass, killing ships left, right, and centre, and all of a sudden, just the spawn rate changes, and you got 4 or 5 extra red guys come in, and and they all start fucking going for you, and you start seeing your shield all light up like a Christmas tree. Just use your speed. Now let's bully.
Target shields offline.
Jesus Christ.
Under attack. Accelerated shield regeneration.
Now my beam has a vent thing on it, special effect, so which means when it's hitting, it vents energy, and then when it doesn't hit, it does twice as much. Your shield's down.
Under attack.
Okay, he's being clobbered left, right, and centre. Jeez, I didn't do that much damage actually.
Target shields online. Target shields offline. Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Taking heat damage.
He's dead.
Target destroyed. Target shields offline.
Oh, the big Corvette.
Under attack. Target destroyed.
Wow, look at all the shit that come out of it.
Target shields offline.
Missiles, I tell you what, missiles are dangerous when your shields drop.
Target destroyed.
See, now we're in that phase where there's more green, yeah, far more green than red.
Target shields offline.
Nice. Oh, Jesus.
Under attack. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Warning. Temperature critical.
See, your shields go down, get the fuck
Comply.
out of there.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
No. Too big. I'm gonna presume that's.
Under attack.
Don't get comfortable. That's all I'm gonna say. I've driven back into the green pack.
Target shields offline. Under attack. Target destroyed. Cannot comply. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Frameshift charge detected. Under attack. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Taking heat damage. Under attack. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Taking heat damage. Hull integrity compromised.
Oh shit.
Under attack. Warning. Temperature critical. Target shields online.
He's dead already. Jesus
Target
Christ.
destroyed. Under attack. Target shields offline. Warning. Temperature critical.
Oh, that's him shooting at me. I think there was one of my team allies flying behind me. Take that, you bastard.
Under attack. Target destroyed.
Alright, so what do we... One more ships. Come on.
Target shields offline.
Had ammo on one gun.
Under attack. Warning. Temperature critical. Target shields online.
Jesus.
Target shields offline.
Trying to go quiet on me.
Warning. Temperature critical.
He's trying to evade me, little prick.
Target destroyed.
Bully ships or knock off those that are badly hurt. That's what it's all about. Now the idea is to stack these missions. So I've done these missions where you're earning 30 to 45 million credits for finishing it. You've got to kill about 80 ships though.
Target shields offline. Under attack.
Shit.
Target shields online. Target shields offline.
Oh, he's running too.
Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Under attack. Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Temperature critical. Warning. Taking heat damage.
That is so hot.
Under attack. Target destroyed.
Okay.
Incoming mission critical message.
2.2, 2.1, plus 900k in.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one.
Yeah, look, I'm sort of happy with that. You got great maneuverability. I think the damage is still letting me down. It's not. I'm not really. It's not. It's not. It's not sexy. It's not. It's not getting me horny. It's not turning me on. It's not floating my boat. It's not getting me. Jesus, combat ship with so much windows.
Engines disengaged. Hull repaired. Incoming message.
Happy to help you chamois bastards out.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, hull integrity compromised. Warning, taking heat damage.
It'll teach me to check out Facebook.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage.
Zorgon Peterson, Kilo Oscar Alpha, FFC channel open. Submit a request if you wish to dock at this facility, Commander.
Scan detected. Landing gear deployed.
Sequence complete. Power down your engines. You're all checked in, Commander. Enjoy your visit.
Hull repaired.